Okay, guys, this is me, Deanna, your fave stylist, and I am the owner of Melvirus Hair Studio, where we are currently home based out of Tucson, Arizona. And yesterday, I had the honor of teaching a protective hairstyle twist out class over Zoom to my class, my school that I used to go to and I graduated for cosmetology from, and it's called Strand College of Beauty Design. So this video is a video for them because this is the hairstyle that we did together over Zoom, and I wanted to show them the end results. And so I didn't take it out yet, and it's been in since yesterday because I wanted to be able to show them the different textures that you will get with the hair when you do different types of double strand twists. Okay, so let's jump right into it. First of all, this is our first quadrant that we did right here, where the double strand twists were twisted, but they were wrapped. They were wrapped around each other, the two double strand twists, but the actual individual strands were not twisted before they were wrapped. So it gave us a looser pattern with our double strand twist like this. You see it's kind of baggy, and I also did them slightly bigger so that they can see how you would get what we were calling beach waves or bigger waves within the hair. And I also expressed to them that when you do your double strand twist smaller, you're going to get more crinkles in your hair, you'll get smaller waves, as opposed to if you do your double strands bigger, you're going to get bigger waves. Okay. The next thing is back here in the back, you'll see that the twists are smaller and they're tightly put together. That's because we twisted the two double strands and we wrapped them around each other as we went down. I also spoke to the students about making sure that they secure the hair, because if you have African textured hair or a kinkier texture of hair, then the hair is going to wrap back up on itself and you won't have to secure the end of the double strand. But we didn't have to worry about that because we had some good product and it's pretty much holding together with our baby. The next thing that I showed them was the double strand flat twist. And I also expressed that to do a twist out, you can either do double strand flat twist like you see on these first two right here, or you could do just single double strand twist. And the purpose for knowing all three different types of ways is so that if your client wants to wear it for a style, you know how to achieve that so that they can get two styles out of one. Or maybe you want to use the different variations of the twist to create a hairstyle and let them go, and they can dry on their own and then later on take them out. Okay, so we got three different kinds right here. We've got the loose double strand twist. We've got the double strand twists that are twisted and wrapped around each other. And then we've got our double strand flat twist. The reason that I did the double strand flat twist on these next three braids halfway and then I stopped, and then I have the remainder amount right here, is because it's important to know that when you're doing twist outs, this hair all the way from the front is going to bundle up right in the middle, and you don't want to extend your client's dryer time. So once you start getting to where you've got more of a bulk of hair or thicker section of hair, you really want to start splitting up your sections so that your client won't have to spend that much time under the dryer. Okay, so the product that we used yesterday was Design Essentials Natural Twist and Set Lotion, which is available for purchase at melvirushairstudio.com. And I also went over a few other products, which was our almond and avocado curl enhancing mousse, which works really, really well, especially if you took the additional step during your twist out to apply it to the ends and wrap it around perm rods. Okay. And then the other one was if you want to do a dry twist out and you want the hair to hang and have a little more movement, was your My Gel. All three of these products can be purchased at melvirushairstudio.com if it's something that you're interested in. So on this end, we left it out. For the students that are watching, remember that I told you that however the hair sits is how the hair is going, however the hair sits is how it's going to set as it dries. And the thing that makes the hair set is earth elements, air, water, and heat. Okay, so we're going to get right into it. We used water and air to let it dry, and it sat out in the sun. Not that those are things that you have to do. I mean, if you've got a dryer, they can just go up under the dryer. But I let it air dry out in the sun. Okay. And we wet it before we got going. So I told you guys to use a nice lightweight oil. I had a little sample vial. I'm going to show you which oil I am using. This is my Bronner Brothers Hot Tin oil that I get from New Expressions. This is the oil that I'm using. I put a very small amount in my hand that you can probably barely see right there. Okay. And this is to just give the hair a nice shine. You want to have some oil on your hands whenever you're taking it out, and the oil will gradually work its way through the hair because you don't want to get your twist out unraveled, and then it's unraveled and you've got to go back and mess up your nice curl texture that you've created by trying to go back and move it around and put oil in it. So it's just best to go ahead and put a little bit of oil on your hands as you're going through to loosen the hair. Okay, so I'm going to try to position this camera so you guys can see. All right, so we're going to go through and we're going to loosen this. All right, now because it's a baby, it may not look what normal hair will look like, but you will get the gist of it. And if you can achieve this style on a mannequin, then you will also be able to achieve this style on a client. So this hair, in order for me to secure it, I took it and I wrapped it up in what I like to call a bantu knot, similar to this one right here, where you just wrap the hair around itself. And that kind of created some texture in the hair, and it's curling up a little bit, okay? So I'm going through and I am carefully unloosening the hair. I'm being really, really careful not to disrupt the curl pattern because I don't want to frizz the hair up so much that whenever I'm done, it's super, super frizzy and I don't have anything to work with. So to the best of your ability, whenever you're loosening these, you want to kind of easily unravel everything as much as you can without frizzing it up, because you can go from less frizz to frizzy if you desire pelo grande, which means big hair in Spanish. If you desire big hair, then you want to make it frizzy and you could just go ahead and mess it up. But what I like to do is give the client an opportunity to tell me that she does or does not like the thickness of the hair, okay? So we're going to go through and I'm loosening it all the way. Again, I've still got oil on my hands. I'm sure you can't really see it, but my hand is really shiny. You see that? That is oil on my hands. So you don't need a lot of oil that's going to weigh down the hair, okay? So this is our first section right here, okay? And as you see, it's gone. It's flowing all the way through. There's no lines of demarcation except for in between right here. And that's more so because it's a mannequin head. But on a real person, because the lines were just kind of randomly done, you would not be able to see that, okay? So we're going to go back. And we're still loosening the hair, and you really want to just work your way down. You want the oil to be on your fingers. So if the oil is no longer on your fingers, just stop and work it up and then get your hands back in there. And you will be surprised. That is going to be just enough oil. If it doesn't give you enough shine, then you just want to get you some shine spray afterwards and use that, okay? So this twist out part right here is going to give you a similar look and texture to the side that we've done here, where the double strand twists were twisted and wrapped, okay? that is going to be very, very similar. The only time you would do the double strand flat twist is if they wanted double strand flat twist. They didn't want to, maybe there was an issue with time and you didn't want to sit and do individual singles all day long. Okay, so we're working our way through. Maybe your client just wants to double strand the hair and pull it up into a ponytail, so you want to give them individuals. Okay, I want to show you guys a better visual of us loosening it. You're being really careful and just kind of pulling it apart one little small section at a time. Just like so. You're being very, very careful not to disrupt the curl pattern. So I'm going to show you an example of disrupting your curl pattern that you created. You see that nice pretty wave? Now if you go up in there and you just kind of loosen it like that without being careful, look at the difference. It just gives it a little more volume. It still has the texture in it that you put in it, but it's a little more frizzy. And imagine doing that all over the head. Some ladies want this definition because it's gonna get frizzier over the days anyway. So let's not rush them there and give them this in comparison to this. Let's just go ahead, and most ladies are gonna want it to naturally get there so that they can preserve the hairstyle as long as possible. Okay, so we've moved up. We're up to the top section now, and we're piecing it apart one piece at a time. Again, it was Bantu knotted right here, so you're gonna see curls. You're definitely gonna see curls. Okay, so there we go. Now remember, I told you whichever way you do your double strand twist, that is the way the hair wants to lay. So all of this hair is going towards the back of her head. There's not going to be a way for you to fix it and stick it over here and make it hang to the side, which I'll show you that a little bit later. Okay. So we're slowly working it out. We're being very careful still not to disrupt our curls. We want to keep those curls in there. We don't want it to be too frizzy. Okay, we want to keep them in there just like that. Just like that. Okay, we've got one more braid to loosen. And then I'm going to make my way to the back. And we're going to loosen the double strand twists that have been wrapped and twisted. Okay. So again, we're being very careful. By the time we get to the other side, I'm sure we're going to need a little more oil. Okay. So once I get this loosened, I'm going to show you how we would style it and everything. Twist outs come out. You can do one twist out on a person with fine, thin hair. And you could do the same exact twist out on a person with thick hair, and you're going to get different results. But look at that. Ooh, yes, yes, yes. That's pretty. Especially in the front. Ooh, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. This is the texture most girls want. Okay, so you're giving it to them. You're taking, this is what I call manipulating your curl pattern. Most girls that have natural afro textured hair, they want curls. They want their hair to be nice and curly. Okay, so this is how they're going to get there. This is an option to get you there without you having to do chemicals. This is an option to get you there while giving them an opportunity to have a protective style in the process. This is a great vacation hairstyle. Sometimes I have clients that come in and they just get the double strand twist. They leave, they go on vacation, they go swimming with the double strand twist. And by the time they come back home, they have shampooed their hair on the cruise boat and allowed it to dry within the double strand twist. And then they come home and let the twist out. Now, if you do that, your twist out is going to be a little frizzier, but it's still going to give you that desired look, okay? I have some ladies that get double strand flat twist up into updos, and they rock that out. Sometimes the double strand flat twist is just part of a hairstyle. Okay, so I'm not gonna prolong it. I'm gonna go ahead. I still have oil on my hand. I've gotten some of it off in the back. And then I'm going to rub it all over this one because we're doing them individually and I don't want the oil to run out by the time I get to the top. And I also do not want to overload her hair with product. If we need more product at the end, that's one situation, but we don't want to overload her hair with product before we determine if she really needs all that product. So the great thing about the double strand twist is it's so easy to unravel them. You don't have to be so careful. If you've done them neatly, you can just kind of ravel them the other way and then pull it apart. Just like that. Now, give or take, every situation is going to be different with different people, different hair textures. And as a hairstylist, it's your job to recognize that and not treat every single client with a stamp service is what I call it. Like you create a formula for doing hair and every single person gets that formula. As a professional, it's your job to recognize the characteristics of hair. Is this hair more porous? Is this hair more elastic? Is this hair more dense? Is this hair more thin? And based on that, you determine how much more or less product the client will need. You determine how much tension or how much less tension the client will need. You determine, do I want to give her this beach look and attempt to do looser double strands, or do I want to twist and twine them because her hair is thicker and I want to kind of tame it a little bit? Okay, so speaking of taming, look at that. You can see back here in the back, these are the double strands that we loosened. These were twisted individually and they were wrapped around each other. Because of that, you can see how the length was elongated and look how it's holding its form. You could even start locks with these, you know. And that's another video. Okay, now you have the option of leaving these just like this with this texture and see how it's kind of staying together like that. They almost look like little locks, right? You can do them like that, or you can pull them apart yourself and it'll give you a slightly different type of look. Let me pull a few of them apart for you. If it's too difficult for you to pull them apart, you just go down to the roots, unravel a little bit, put your finger in the middle and pull it apart. Okay, unravel a little bit, put your finger at the roots of it and pull it apart. Unravel a little bit, finger at the roots and pull apart. You would continuously do that on each section until you got the fullness that you desired. Okay. So this is what that texture would look like right here. Okay. If you pulled it apart, if you didn't pull it apart, it's going to look more like this section right here. Okay. So this side could be fluffed up. Everything is just dependent on how full your client wants their hair to be. Okay. So this is our baby. This side is almost like a complete look. As you can see, it's going to give you more curls. That's because we twisted it halfway and we put the Bantu knots right here. You can kind of see a line of demarcation. So if you have that, that's when you go in there and you just kind of fluff it out and it'll be easier on a human's head. All right. And then you have you see how the twisting and wrapping elongates it and stretch that hair out a little bit more. You can look on both sides and see that. Okay. And then you've got these double strands, which were loosely done. So you've got 3 different ways to do a twist out, 3 different ways to do a protective style. A protective style is a hairstyle in which the ends of the hair are protected inside of the actual hairstyle. Okay, so you've got the double strand twist, and this is how you get your twist out. Okay, I'll turn that around so you guys can see really, really good. We could take a nice flower and put that up in there, and that'll be a cute hairstyle for her. Of course, I would never let my client leave with all this oil on her, but the baby is just like picking it up. Okay, and so you may see some lines of demarcation. You just want to go through. An easy way to get rid of those lines of demarcation, if this was a real client, would be to take your wide tooth comb and kind of pull it up just like so. You take the comb right close to where the part is at and just pull it out. Slide it in, pull it out. Slide it in, pull it out. And that is going to give you what you need. I'm going to spin this over here because the sunlight is starting to take away from it. So that's what you want to do. This is our twist out that we did yesterday. I hope that you guys can really see the texture from the different techniques that we've done. Okay. So depending on what your client wants, depending on what they need, the type of hairstyle they're trying to do, what they're comfortable with, what type of job they have in some cases, and the characteristics of their hair, of course, is how you're going to determine which twist out set would be best for you and your client. I really thank you guys for allowing me to teach you on Zoom, and I hope that this has been really educational for you. And I will see you guys on the next video.